Yep.
This is the movie you've all been waiting for.
The only one in the theater.
No, this isn't.
Look at that.
That's actually
We're all gonna die!
not a movie.
I don't know anything. Do you think I'm an idiot?
But
Boy.
Just
Taco Bell gonna keep nothing fries on the menu.
Yeah.
We will.
Here to watch
Go get that cheese.
Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey.
There are two kinds of people in life.
We're the only ones in the theater.
Those who wait,
So I'm about to go review
those
it
who take.
afterwards and definitely let y'all know how it all goes down.
You think you can eat
Yeah.
dead.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy, 24/7 here with 24/7 Fusion Media. And just came back from watching Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. Went to see what all the hype's about. Seen, tons of YouTube videos about all different kind of things. And I figured I'd go for myself, check it out, and see what the deal is. So, we go in the theater, and come to realize that, it's not really anyone there. So I found that interesting. And from there, we went to go watch the previews. Believe it or not, the previews were pretty long. It's about 20-25 minutes long. So once we got through that, the movie started. And as we all know, Harley Quinn had just broken up with the Joker. And, she's trying to figure out where she's going to go from there. And as we see that happening, there's other things going on in the backdrop. We get introduced to Black Canary, Cassandra Cain, Renee Montoya, and Helena Bertinelli, which she's a huntress. And to be honest with you, so I sat here and I watched this movie. The first 20-30 minutes was actually pretty good. The way it all came together, the way, you get to see Harley Quinn, reacting to what was going on in her life. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Then when all the other characters came on in, Black Canary was cool. Huntress was cool. Renee Montoya, played by Rosie Perez, she was just something different. And Cassandra Cain, once you know about these characters, you see what they did with Cassandra Cain. That's that's a tough one to kind of go with if you are a fan of the books and you know who the character is, and you'd understand where I'm coming from. As an average moviegoer, you probably looked at it and thought it was just fine, but as a person that's diehard comic book fan, that was a little tough to bite on, and perfectly so. I mean, it's one of those things that when you have an IP, you got a comic book property. Sometimes from the books onto the big screen, there are going to be things that do not transcend well from one platform to the other. And the reason why it is because when you have the director's spin on it, not doing it the way it's shown in the books that made the character popular to begin with. What you see is the director's rendition of the character, and that's where everything gets really messed up. And in this case, there you have it. Because if you'd have seen what the original characters look like, compared to their movie counterparts. Man, you take Black Canary, you take Renee Montoya, you take Cassandra Cain, and then you take the Huntress, Helena Bertinelli. And you look at their movie versions compared to their comic book versions, you sit there and you look at it and you're like, whoa, what just happened? It gets to a point where there's been times we sitting here and we're watching our, favorite superheroes, and just because the director just wants to do something a little different, something a little bit bold, something a little bit edgy, they get to putting all your favorite heroes together, and they all got like the same kind of wardrobe. They did it with Endgame, where they all had the same suits on. They did it with the X-Men movies, where they all had the black suits on. In this movie, none of the characters have any kind of anything. The only person you can recognize is Harley Quinn because of the way she acts and the way her face looks, hairstyle, that kind of shit. But when you look at the character itself, as far as the way they look, and even the way some of them act, that's not how they look. That's not how they act. Thing is, you got many years of source material to determine that factor versus what we saw in the theater. So, that being said, that lets you know, yeah, that's the first issue I had with it. Besides that, the story was just a hot mess. So, story is Harley Quinn breaks up with Joker, and she's trying to figure out what she's gonna do with herself. Then at the same time, she bumps heads with Black Mask, and he takes it upon himself to try to kill her. She talks him out of killing her, and what they're going to do is try to retrieve this diamond that is followed by Cassandra Cain, which she stole from one of Black Mask's henchmen. And everybody's involved in a certain way to either save the girl or get the diamond or find a way to kill the bad guys. I mean, it's a very interesting movie. One thing I will say is the thing that I enjoyed. The movie, the quality, when you look at it, the visuals, they were decent. I enjoyed the fight scenes for the most part. The fight scenes that Harley Quinn were in by herself they were the best ones. Actually, when they all end up teaming up together and fighting, some of that was pretty decent. Some of it was pretty shoddy. So and the way and I enjoyed the way they spoke. All the shit talking, the cursing, the fuck this and the fuck that, and everything else. I enjoyed how they went through all that, and they were talking a lot of stuff. I thought that was pretty hilarious. Aside from that, I would have to say that it's not the best DC film that I've seen, or superhero film at that, and it's definitely not the worst. I've seen so many of them. Probably seen so many more that you guys might not have ever seen, just because they're just not known, but they're out there. There's a lot of stuff out there. I've seen a lot of shit, and I'll tell you, out of everything I've seen, comic book movie wise and everything, it's not the worst, not by far. So, saying that, I'll rate this. I'll give this a 6.5.